All right, wonderful people, welcome back to this wonderful channel where I'll bring you back to back updates and information as to the hot. In case you have not joined our social media handle, what are you waiting for? Kindly go ahead and subscribe, like, comment, share, and also remember to on your notification button so that whenever our news drop, you go be the first. We'll collect them. All right, let's go down to the news proper as it the hot. You don't shell for the obodo as the matter take be. One of the former DSS boss we understand security and how to protect the people has advised the government on the unconditional release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra. Of course, you know that recently Tinubu is making plans to grant presidential pardon to some people who are inside the prison, and there are a lot of big fish, people like James Ibori of Delta State will be receiving this pardon, and he has set up a committee to make sure that these people are pardoned and how it is going to be. But as it is, a DSS boss, former, has advised the federal government in order to bring peace in the southeastern part of Nigeria and also to quell the chaos of insecurity that has ravaged that particular part of the country. Of course, you know that the insecurity in the southeast has drowned the economy of the southeast. As it is, the gross domestic product of the southeast has gone so low because of the issue of insecurity, one sit at home, and incessant kidnapping that have been happening, especially Anambra, Imo State, Enugu, and other places. Some of these places now are no-go area in terms of insecurity. Anambra State is where you hear the news of kidnap almost every day, Then Enugu State, the other time, about 36 passengers were abducted and also 3 soldiers. There were 4 soldiers in that bus, but 1 escaped, but 3 of them were abducted with other 36 passengers in Anambra. The same thing, the other time in Anambra, it was the issue of Reverend Father, it was issue of nuns, Reverend Sisters, and etc. etc. Even recently, yesterday, another person, there was a news also in Anambra of a UK returnee that was also abducted in Anambra. The other time, it was the issue of a man who was coming back for Xmas, who was sent to early judgment, and his driver was not found. All these things are happening in the southeastern part of Nigeria, and some scholars, security experts, and specialists believe that all these things is as a result of incarceration of the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Of course, if you are following the trend, I think that was around 2021 when the inception of the issue of sit-at-home emanated through the office of Mazi Simon when this sit-at-home was declared in order to persuade the government to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. But of course, you know that the government of Africa does not obey persuasion, whether by protest or whether by carrying out placards. These government are the kind of government that does whatever they want and whatever that is their mind, and they don't even try to care whether it affects the citizens or that person. But one of the government, the best government that Nigeria has ever had, was the government of Umaru Musa Yar'Adua, that also bettered the government of Goodluck Jonathan. I think these are the 2 presidents who rule by the people. Of course, you know what democracy is all about. You know that in democracy, we have different kinds of democracy. When you see things like presidential democracy, parliamentary democracy, market democracy, and etc., that we have. Of course, you know that Nigeria is running a presidential democracy. And when it comes to democracy, Abraham Lincoln made us to know that democracy is the government of the people by the people. That's the simplest way you can, define democracy. But it seems more that we are in an autocratic government than being in a democratic government, because sometimes when the citizens, when the masses, the populace make their demand, you find out that the government does not pay any attention to the demands of the masses. For example, the issue of the removal of fuel subsidy, when the masses cried a lot, the government believed that the removal of fuel subsidy will help to reduce the expenditure or the expenses that are being made in the procurement of gas, fuel, and the rest of them. But as it is, on this note, the subsidy has been removed, the prices of fuel have skyrocketed, and we are not seeing what the savings that the government, the intention of the government removing the fuel subsidy was to save some income, to save the money that were being, pushed into the subsidy. And now we are expected to see where this money is going into and the impact of this money in the government, in the present government. And we are yet to see that. Hunger is everywhere, dollar prices is rising, and every other thing. Meanwhile, let's go to the main information of the day. Ndi wanakwea okwu seponte as idebi. A former director of the Department of State Service (DSS), Mike Ejiofor, has appealed to the President Bola Tinubu to unconditionally release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, leader of the indigenous people of Biafra. Ejiofor suggested to Tinubu to consider a political solution for the Southeast security crisis during an interview on Arise TV morning show. The former DSS director advised the government to prioritize security challenges in the country. He mentioned that certain individuals are killing innocent people in the Southeast in the name of fighting for Kanu. Ejiofor stated that releasing Kanu will be the best way to ease the tension and killing in the Southeast. Ejiofor said we should prioritize the issue of our security challenges. There are some that are political, while others require kinetic and non-kinetic approach. For instance, we have achieved a lot in the Northeast until recent when we started having some isolated cases. Look at the Northwest, where you have the issue of Lukarawa, and after their initial appearance, much has not been heard from Lukarawa, and that is because of the activities of both intelligence and security forces. When you come to the Southeast, I think the government should take the initiative to find a political solution to the issues in the Southeast, especially with regards to the unknown gunmen and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. I strongly appeal to the government to use this opportunity to unconditionally release Kanu and let us see, because people who are killing innocent people are claiming to be fighting for Kanu, and he has condemned these actions. He has spoken out against the seat at home and said he is not in support of it. How can you be fighting for people and at the same time destroy their economy and their means of livelihood? All right, welcome back. This is coming from Ejiofor, a former DSS man, director. Is giving this advice to the presidency to consider, as the presidency is planning to grant presidential pardon to some people in the nation, that the president should also remember people like Kanu and see if this problem will be resolved through a political means. But the thing is, one thing is to give advice to somebody, and another thing is for the person to take your advice. The question is the government going to take this particular advice? Is the government going to take this particular advice? And of course, I know, and I promise you that if the government should adhere to some of the advices that have been given to them, this nation would have become a better place. This nation would have become a better home, because I know that managing the governmental power is not easy, when it comes to handling the masses, because people have their opinion. Even though in the people's opinion, the government has to, be strong enough to take decision. But in some cases, there are some exceptional cases that the government know that this is actually the way. But in a nation where there is, ethnic tension, ethnic separation, should I call it ethnic banter, where during the time of election, you find an Igbo man, wanting his Igbo brother to be in office, whether he's good or not. The Yoruba man wanting his Yoruba brother to be in office, whether he merits it or not. And also the Hausa man wanting his Hausa brother to be in office, whether he is qualified or not. And that is what is going to tell you that somehow Nigeria is too big for a single government to handle. I think if these people actually want to make this nation a better place, I think they should go for a confederal system of government, or also go for restructuring, or rather tell some people, "Ngwanu, you people, I want to bunu, let everybody manage themselves." But for that to happen, it is going to be very hard because, of course, you know that the mother country, Britain, are still in serious control of the nation, even though that Nigeria claims to have gotten their independence and the rest of them. Formerly, Nigeria has direct colonial rule, but as it is now, it is an indirect colonial rule. All right, this is where I'll be winding down the curtain. And if this is your first time of joining us on this wonderful channel, kindly go ahead and subscribe, like, comment, share, and also remember to all your notification buttons so that whenever our news is dropping, you'll be the first. We'll collect them. Thank you for listening. God bless you.